This is a series of drills I did during a recent training session at Front Range. And the common theme of all these drills is going to be movement and posture and quick reaction, with the emphasis on movement. This is a simple overhead passing drill where there's two balls in play, you work in triangles. The players in the backcourt have to be very aware of where the ball is coming from, where the next ball is coming from, because the setter can set either direction and the players at the antenna can put the ball back to either backcourt player. So you always have to be aware, move quickly, and set the ball accurately to the setter. This next drill is a very, very good defensive movement shuffle stepping drill. I put cones where the player has to move sideways 45 degrees, 90 degrees in a semicircle. And the emphasis is obviously moving to the ball. They can only shuffle step. We want them to stay level when they move. We want their shoulders to be forward, their head down, and there's no up and down movement with their body or their posture. So they want to move quickly, forward, backward, in all the 5 directions. We go in order, so it's a sequence where they kind of work their way around the semicircle and then they work their way back around the semicircle. It's a good conditioning drill, good movement drill, good posture drill. And you can build on it where instead of tossing balls, you could also hit balls to the defender as they move in the same movement sequence. Building on that, they're still shuffle stepping. They're going around the cone, and in this situation, they're just moving to the right. And you'll see how they want to wrap their hips around the ball and finish to where they want the ball to go. So it's a shuffle stepping movement. We don't want them going to the ground. We want them to move, react quickly, and then they want to finish with their hips and platform back to the middle of the court. So often players, if they move to the right, the ball tends to be passed or dug to the right, and the same thing to the left. So we want them to work on manipulating their passing platform, manipulating their hips, and always coming back to the center of the court. Similar drill, except we plugged in a center back player. So now again, it's short, deep responsibility. The cross-court wing digger or left back will have the short seam. The center back will have the deep seam. So we're trying to get people just to move and react to the ball. We're going short, deep, so it's a fairly easy sequence right now. And they're just learning these responsibilities. And again, as a coach, I have to be able to get them moving quickly without being out of control. So we want them shuffle stepping, and we want them to work on, working their hips and platform around the ball. We really discourage going to the floor. We'd rather they move their feet. But as they go through this learning process, some kids will go down. It's a process. These are 15-year-old players, so they're just learning. But I think it's a very important concept that players learn to move quickly and efficiently around the court. We've built again now, instead of two positions, now we have a third position, but it's the same concept. The center back will have the deep seam, the cross-court digger or the line digger will have the short seam, and we're just getting people to move around the court and learn how to work together, what player has what area of the court. Mine, yours, take it, go. We have to switch. And as you go through this learning process, there's going to be some hesitancy. And that's where I think the coach has to understand that it's a process, that the players will get better the more they do it. So I don't want to necessarily discourage. Nobody likes mistakes, but I think, as the players learn to move, they'll figure this out. But again, I think the important thing is that you're getting the players to move their feet around the court, that they're going to try and shuffle step and get behind the ball and rotate their hips to the middle, as opposed to, kind of the typical one-step lunge for it and fall down. So we try to challenge them with how far away from them we put the ball, but we also try not to make it so impossible that their technique goes in the toilet, and they're not getting anything accomplished. So we try to get them moving around the court while they shuffle step, while they maintain their posture. And it's something that we just constantly build on every day in practice. So as you can see here, we're trying to get where we're avoiding that move, that we want players to move behind the ball as these two are doing, an acceptable job of, you don't want people falling down. Stand on your feet, move to the ball quickly, get your hips behind it. And then if you need to switch positions because of the direction you move, then you talk and communicate. And, one of the key parts of this is learning how to cover the court and work together with other people. So, not to be ignored is the communication aspect of it. Knowing, who's going to take the ball, when they're going to take it. My fault, I'll get that next time. Those types of verbal interactions, I think, are extremely important and something that you really want to encourage. Doing the same type of thing. We're throwing in 2 touches now where it's a dig set. The attacker or the coach is on the other side of the court, and what I'm trying to do is just build on what we've been doing. I will rarely hit the ball right at somebody. They're always having to move to the ball, preferably shuffle stepping so they're facing the ball, and preferably finishing to where they want the ball to go, so they're still manipulating their passing platform and their hips. And now, since every situation is a little bit different, they have to communicate in terms of who's setting. So if right back plays the ball, who's setting? Where are they playing it to? And then after the ball is set, what do we do then? Not every play is perfect, and you have to adjust to situations. But that's the same thing you have to do in live situations. So in this controlled situation, we're trying to get players to understand, obviously the skill, but also working together in terms of, balancing the court, who has what ball, and communicate. And again, this is something that I think is underutilized within the scope of a practice is the talking and communication factor, and also the decision-making factor. Players have to be able to make decisions on the court. So in this situation, they're always having to move and decide, who's got the ball, who's replacing what person in what position. So I think it's a good drill to incorporate those things, especially at the start of practice, where you can use it as a glorified warm-up. Again, we keep building on concepts now. You still have 3 people in the back row, and obviously they're working on the stuff we've been working on in terms of short, deep responsibility and moving to the ball and ball control. Now we've incorporated a blocker and a live attacker where the back row has to defend around the one block and keep working on the movement concepts that we were working on earlier in the training session. We always want to keep people alert, so at times the coach will toss over a ball like that and just keep people moving and reacting quickly. And then obviously you have to make a quick move to the outside if the ball goes there. So the coach's responsibility, again, is to run the drill quick enough where people are having to move quickly and react, to be able to toss, balls to a hitter that are, replicate game situations. The next level is going to be throwing in a middle blocker. So, the backcourt is working on the same things, and now we've thrown in a middle blocker. With all these drills, there's all sorts of options that you can use. You can either have a setter setting the ball, the coach tossing the ball, as you see here. You can make it a little bit more of a live situation where the players who are, waiting to hit would be covering the hitter and trying to transition out of it. So it is on the coach in terms of what their goals are, how they want to organize the drill. Part of that is certainly how good your team is and what they're capable of doing. So now we're going to build on this drill, and instead of the coach tossing, the outside hitters will just go in a figure eight. So after they hit, they'll set, and then the opposite side is trying to defend, either block or go into a dig to swing sequence. So right now we're alternating in terms of after you hit, you swing. You could certainly get into you can set either side, and then the players have to fill in and adjust. So hopefully this sequence of drills gives you an idea of kind of what I do to work on moving feet, maintaining posture, organizing your practice in a sequence where one drill is the foundation for the next drill. Then you just keep layering responsibilities on the players. So hopefully this was valuable in that regard.